The following is a public access program and does not necessarily represent the views of or its staff and management.
Size of this mosquito, Dan. Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel. We are going to dive right in today to the 5 reasons why we are considering Porsche 981 GT4. There are many subjective reasons why we are looking at the Porsche 981 GT4 currently. However, we're going to present the most objective reasons why we are considering this car and adding it to the Tracking Ponies Race Garage. Reason number 1 is the mid-engine layout and design. Unlike the other cars in our garage, this one in particular has its weight in the middle to the rear of the car. The front end feels incredibly light. The steering is accurate and predictable. We definitely love tracking Mustangs, but after driving this car, well, most of the steering in the Mustangs feels numb compared to this. The whole steering rack, ratio, feel, and response in the front end, you can feel it through the steering wheel. It's predictable, it's light, and it almost works with you simultaneously to point the car wherever you want it to go. I am by no means a professional race car driver, but I can definitely set some blisteringly fast lap times in this car. Reason number 2, we really wanted to stay with a manual transmission. We love the engagement of that type of transmission and what it provides on the racetrack, on the road course, and autocross course. Because we have 2 other Mustangs in the garage that we track, I will tip the hat to the Shelby GT350R on this one. Although the Porsche transmission is very light, nimble, very predictable, and it's not prone to missing shifts, the Tremec unit in the Shelby GT350R is that much tighter, that much more precise, and just really has a satisfying click when it engages. Reason number 3, when you start to examine what suspension components are on the GT4 and how it was designed, you begin to realize it really has a lot of the 911 GT3 suspension components on the front end. The rear end is a little bit of a different story. Porsche does claim it's a multi-link rear end, but really we'll get into that in another video. But mainly the front end is really cut, copy, and pasted off of the GT3. The front end is a strut-based suspension that has many of the aluminum uprights, knuckles, and aluminum split control arms. The way Porsche has integrated these suspension components into the Cayman 981 chassis is just unbelievable. Here's an area where the GT4 objectively shines over most of the cars in our garage. This 981 GT4 just has better build quality all the way around compared to the GT350R or the Boss that we have built. Now, although this is a GT4 and a track day vehicle, it is still a street vehicle. It has a lot of compliance for the street and is primarily a street vehicle that can be taken to the track for track days. Complete race cars only have what is necessary for the driver to compete in the races and nothing else. I will say this, the GT4 is an incredibly impressive and performance-oriented street vehicle that can be taken to the track and can compete at high levels of performance. Getting into the Porsche 981 GT4, I had 2 initial thoughts. I can't believe how comfortable this car is, how easy it drives on the street, and really how you could use it as a daily driver. It was incredibly comfortable. It had the German touch of luxury, comfort, build quality, and performance. My second thought is something we already discussed. Coming out of Mustangs that have all of the weight up front, I just couldn't believe how different the driving experience is. I'm really not trying to exaggerate, but I do want to get across the point that there is a big difference having the engine in the middle of the car. It is something that you notice instantaneously. You can tell the steering and the front end responds completely differently when there is no weight up front. But again, what is so great about this vehicle is it is just as comfortable on the street as it is at the track. You could drive this every day with the dampers set in comfort mode and hit the track every weekend and have the same worry-free reliability that comes with the Porsche brand and the GT4. Let's take a quick look and review the 5 reasons why we are considering the 981 GT4 for our garage. Reason number 1, mid-engine design. The weight is in the middle to the rear of the vehicle, steering is light, predictable, and very confidence-inducing. Reason number 2, the shift whenever you want transmission. We wanted to stay with the manual transmission because we love the engagement and the thought of always being in control of the vehicle's RPM speed. Reason number 3, the Porsche GT3 suspension. The GT4 is literally a hybrid of the GT3 front suspension just planted onto the GT4 Cayman 981 chassis. Again, we'll go into the rear end of the GT4 in another video. Porsche claims it's a multi-link rear end. I'll show you the research I've done on the rear end of the GT4 and explain to you what I found. Reason number 4, versatility. This vehicle really is the best of both worlds. You can cruise this to work every single day, take it to the track on the weekends. It will perform excellent in both locations. Reason number 5, build quality. This is an area that the Porsche 981 GT4 far exceeds over the Mustang. But let's be honest, most of these cars are in different price points and built to a different specification. Right around the time this video is released, we're going to have a few more opportunities to take it to the track, drive it around the street, and really get a feel for it. So let me know what you think. If you've made it this far in the video, maybe you're willing to drop me a comment and let me know. Do you like the 981 GT4? Should we look at the 718 GT4? Or should we still stick with the Shelby GT500 carbon fiber track pack in the next year or two? Thank you so much again for watching the video. Subscribe to the like button and notify me when you like the subscribe button.
Access program. Public act is a public act. The public act and does